All right, this is the second mini lesson on hypothesis and variables. Last mini lesson, we just covered the basics of hypothesis, which I'm going to review quickly again. From a grammar from a grammar perspective, in the little green you see there on the screen, hypothesis, S-I-S, means one. Hypotheses, S-E-S, means more than one. Okay, so singular and plural. A strong hypothesis is one that's written as a sentence. It's something we can test. So, in other words, lightning is caused by angry ghosts. We can't test that that's caused by ghosts. So, it's not testable. We can measure it, okay? We can't measure it grows a lot of raisins because we don't know what a lot means. It's going to be different for one person to the next, so we need a specific number that we can measure. And it needs to be a cause and effect or an if-then statement. In other words, it has to have an independent variable and a dependent variable. So the independent variable is the if, okay? If we put the grapes in the sun for 4 hours, that's the independent variable, then it will grow 100 raisins. That's the idea, if then. Okay, so that's the basics of hypothesis. Now, this was the assignment you were given yesterday. Now, if this is a strong, I know it says write a good hypothesis. If you think it's strong, just write. You should have just written strong underneath, and I should have explained this yesterday, and I didn't. But this is just a review for us. So, if it's weak, explain why it's weak. Okay, it's either not testable, it's either not measurable, or it's not written in an if-then statement. Okay. So let's look at number one. Lightning is caused by angry ghosts. We've already talked about that one. That is weak. So what I wanted you to do was to come through this, and first thing I wanted you to do was to answer each of these, whether they were strong or weak. So lightning is caused by an angry ghost. Now, that's not testable because we never experience angry ghosts. So we're going to say that's weak because it's not testable. Now, one of the things when we're doing stuff like this, to make it easier for me when you turn it in, I want you to highlight what you just wrote and just change the color to something else. Just so I know that it's your writing, okay? All right. Number two, chocolate may cause pimples. So is that strong or weak? Well, if it's strong, it has, if I do this, then I do that. There's none of that in this, okay? Is it testable? Well, yeah, we can run a test whether or not chocolate causes pimples. Is it measurable? Well, no, there's nothing in there that gives us a measurement. So it doesn't say chocolate may cause 5 pimples. So this one's going to be weak because, helps if I spell it right, it's not measurable. And again, we're going to change the color because I'm doing the writing and not the teacher. All right. 3. There are 2 times more bacteria on my desk than on the toilet handle. Well, that sounds interesting. It's got a number, so it's telling us 2 times more. Is it something we can test? Sure, we can test the bacteria on the toilet handle, or on the toilet handle, and we can test the bacteria on the desk. But is it an if-then statement? Is it saying if I do this, then this will happen? No, it's not. It's actually just a statement. It's not testing anything. So this one is weak because it's not. Okay, we could say it's not if then. But the point I want you to understand is there's no independent variable. Okay? It's not saying if I do this. Okay, so there's no if. If I do this, or when I do this, there isn't any of that. So this is a weak one because there's no independent variable. Or we could say there's no if then statement. All right. Number 4. Do big birds fly faster than small birds? Well, is that something we can test? Sure. We can do a test with a big bird and a small bird. Is it something that we can measure? Well, yes. Faster is a measurement, so we can measure faster. So technically it is. Is there an if then statement? Not really. So there's no if then. And what's the other reason why this one's not good? It's written as a question. Remember, all strong hypotheses are written as a statement or as a sentence. Okay? So we will highlight this one in red. All right. If you watch 3 hours of TV or more, your reading scores will be lower. That's a strong one. Yep. It's testable. We can test the number of hours that you're watching TV and then test your reading scores. It's measurable. We're saying that the reading scores are going to be lower if you watch 3 hours of TV. So that's good. And it's an if-then statement. If you do this, then this is what will happen. So that's a good, strong one. So make sure we change the color on that one. And we are done. So we've got 4 weak hypotheses because of the reasons that we listed, and we have 1 strong hypothesis. All right. Now let's jump back over here to this, because I want to go into just a little bit more detail on independent and dependent variables. Okay. The independent variable is the variable that you change. It's the part of the experiment that you change. It's the if of the if-then statement. So if I put water in the freezer, that's the independent part, if I do this. The dependent variable is the part that changes because of what you did to the independent variable. So you're putting water in the freezer. What's happening is the freezer is causing the water to change state, to turn from liquid to solid. It's the then of the if-then statement. So I color-coded it on this anchor chart to kind of help you. So if I put water in the freezer, then the state of water will turn from liquid to a solid. Look at the example for number 2, though. It's the same if-then statement, but it just doesn't have if and then. Okay? When I put water in the freezer, comma, the water will turn to ice. Okay? So both of those are examples of strong hypothesis. One has if-then in it. The other one just says when I do this. Okay? So the second one is a strong hypothesis. Just because it doesn't say if-then doesn't mean it's not. We're looking for those variables, making sure if I do this, when I put water in the freezer, so that's my if, the water will turn to ice, that's my then. Okay, so making sure you have both of those if-then pieces, the independent variable and the dependent variable. All right, so for today, for independent practice, there's another assignment on writing strong hypotheses. I want you to click, you know the process by now. We've used it 2 or 3 times. You're going to click on this writing strong hypothesis assignment, and I'm going to walk you through it real quick. Writing strong hypothesis assignment. You're going to click when it opens, you're going to click open with Google Docs. Now remember, this Google Doc is one that's mine. You can't do anything with it because yours probably says view only up here. So then you're going to hit File, make a copy. And then you're going to put your last name in front of writing strong hypotheses. And then hit OK. Now, when you do that, it's going to make this editable for you. So using what we've discussed in class, using the 2 anchor charts, you're going to write excuse me. There are 10 sentences on this page. I want you to pick 5 of them. You're going to pick 5 of them. And using what we've discussed in class and using those anchor charts for help, I want you to write an if-then statement to make this sentence a strong hypothesis. Remember, something you can test, something you can measure, written as an if-then statement. Okay, this is the important piece. You can add information that's not there. You're going to have to. Okay, and you may have to change some things, but don't change the topic. Okay, question 1 example. Okay, the hypothesis needs to be about lightning. Okay, lightning is the scientific. Angry Ghost is the joke on this. Lightning is scientific. So question 1, your hypothesis needs to be about lightning. Measurable, testable, if-then statement. So there are 10 statements here or questions. You're going to pick 5 of those, and underneath of them, you're going to write your if-then statement, your strong hypothesis. Make sure you change the text color on it. Okay? When you finish this, if you finish this before class is over, you're going to come back here, and you're going to click on Exit Ticket Discussion and answer that exit ticket discussion, and you're finished for the day. Okay, you do not have to return to live class at 10:20. Just do your writing a strong hypothesis assignment, click the exit ticket, you're done for me for today. Now, if you get done early and you're missing assignments from last week or earlier this week, you need to go back and work on some of that. But this is all there is for you for today. Have a good day.